Hi, I'll now tell you how to solve F1 Racing from BGOpen. The question stated in F1 Racing goes as follows. A car uses R plus bx seconds to complete one lap on x round old tires. As input, we are given R and B connected to the formula, P being the time it takes to change tires, and N, the number of laps in this race. The question then is, what is the minimum time required to finish a race? Our first observation in this problem is the fact that we can only decide when to pit stop. Everything else is given. From this, we can graph out how many pit stops we will do, because in fact, when to pit stops doesn't really matter. I'll talk more about this later. And we can see that if we never pit stop, well, the tire age is going to get huge, so the time gets big. But if we pit stop all the time, the time spent pit stopping would become huge, and we will get something like this U or V shape sort of graph. This means we can ternary search or binary search on this formula, and this is the solution to this problem. You ternary search or binary search-ish on this problem. So, if we want to ternary search on it, we need to be able to figure out how long time it takes given a number of pit stops. Then this we call x. So, say for instance you want to do 2 pit stops and you have 10 laps you want to do. Well, then you could go something like 1, 1, and 8. So 1 round, and 8 round, but that's obviously stupid. So we want to evenly distribute the time we use on each tires. What we want to do then, or how to figure out this even balance, is given by this formula. How to figure out this formula? Well, in the case where, let's say you want to have 4 pit stops and you have 10 rounds, well, then you can go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So when the number of pit stops plus 1 evenly divides the number of laps, then just do that. That's the best case. If not, you always want to do 2. You don't want to go, for instance, 3, 4, 5, then you go 4, 4, 4. So you always have either 1 or 2. So, how many times should you race, because you have 2 cases? You either go the number of laps divided by x plus 1 up or sealed, or you go number of rounds floored. That's the 2 possibilities to make it as even as possible. Formulas go as follows. To find them, we just need to do some math manipulation. I will not go through them right here. The formulas are as follows. Sorry, just. And the opposite. So we have these 2 formulas right here. And you can check their correctness by multiplying this by this and this by this and adding them together and see that you will end up with n. Just remember, this is 1 bigger than this. So yeah, this is how to solve F1 Racing for the most part. As a little finesse in the end, we can notice that this could be represented by some summing formula, and then we have the sum of A something x plus sum B something x, and we could then, if x is the running value, to avoid using for loops, you could solve this with the well-known formula, or the formula that says 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n is equal to n times n minus 1 divided by 2. And we could then rewrite this as 8 a minus 1 divided by 2. Point being, you can then end up with constant time calculation for how long it takes to complete one race given X pit stops in the race, and therefore you get a logarithmic time finding the number of pit stops, and and constant time checking how long time it takes. So this is how to solve F1 racing. Thank you.